What is up, fellow Gwent player? Thank you for clicking this video. My name is Liza and my channel is all about bringing you fun and competitive decks for Gwent. And that does in fact include seasonal mode. So if you're into fun and competitive decks and that's what you're into, consider tapping that subscribe button. So I was and still am working on the TLG budget deck series, but one of my subscribers, Astur Seritnok, I hope I got that right, gave me the suggestion to do a seasonal deck. Since the season of the cat just started, I thought it was a pretty good moment to do so, and boy am I glad I did. I had a lot of fun theory crafting the deck and I had a blast playing it, going for a whopping 10-on-2 record. Often acing opponents with 2-0 without even taking games to round 3. So I had a lot of fun with that, so thank you for the suggestion. Before I show you the deck, let's talk real quick about the seasonal mode of Season of the Cat. Just in case you missed it last year, every 2 turns you switch hands with your opponent. So your opponent goes first, then you play a turn, and then you swap hands. Or you go first, then your opponent does their thing, and then you swap hands. So the decks are always interchanged. You never want to pass because you can keep playing each other's cards. And if there's one thing that's kind of hard to mess with, it's basically the cards in your deck, like not the cards in your hand, but the cards that you did not draw. So naturally, Knickers and Roach make it in here because they will just provide you with free tempo. Where's Roach here? Roach was actually pretty close to Knickers. So that's free tempo, so that always helps out, no matter if you switch hands with your opponent or not. And on top of that, you want to make your deck in a way that denies value to your opponent. Besides the deck that's not in your hand, your leader ability is obviously a big factor, and that's why I chose for Enslave. I filled the deck with 8 tactic cards, so the hero power got stronger. Or I'm saying hero power, that's like Hearthstone stuff, but the leader ability gets stronger because I have 8 tactic cards in the deck, so we can seize a unit up to a power level of 5. And my opponent can not necessarily do a whole lot of useful stuff with the tactic cards. So that's more free tempo from Knickers and Roach and the hero power right there. So what I was thinking, like, what other ways do we have to make cards useful for us and not valuable to my opponent? So I thought, let's do a Highlander deck, like a deck with no duplicates, so Radea and Shoop get value. Those are the big stars of the deck. They are great to play and they provide you with great value and tempo, but when you are forced to hand them over to your opponent and they have duplicates in their deck, they won't trigger, so they won't do anything for them. So then they either have to spend a turn denying you value and don't put down any power on the board themselves, or they let you have the powerful cards, basically. So mathematically you draw about 13 to 16 cards in a game, depending on whether or not the game goes to round 3, and that excludes mulligans, of course, but that's about a 50% chance to draw a card in a game. Really rough math here. But you basically want to mulligan in a way that you either have 1 high value gold or you have 3 high value golds. Now, why is that? If you have 1 high value gold, you play him and then you hand a bunch of crap to your opponent. Or when you have 3 high value golds, you play the best one and then you hand 2 to your opponent and he can only play 1, so you still get 1 high value gold back. That was the general idea I was going for. So that's some deck thinning and some free tempo with Roach and Knickers. We have 8 tactics to buff the hero power, or the leader ability, and some high power golds that only work with your own deck because you're in a Highlander deck with Dandelion and an Aromancy to provide some consistency. That's basically it. I threw Asire Varana hit in there as well because he works really well with Roach, because you can shuffle Roach back into your own deck, although Roach usually ends up being snagged by your opponent, is my limited experience. the deck works really well. And by the way, try to give Shoop, if you get the chance, give him the resilience buff. So that just wins you not only the first round but also the second round, like on the spot. Like Shoop is absolutely a monster in the deck. So I had like a pretty amazing record. I went 10 on 2 with this deck in the seasonal mode. So let's get into some games and get you guys some gameplay. Alright, let's go.
The gate must be secure.
So what do we have here? Oh, this is actually a hard mulligan because we don't want Knickers, we don't want Roach, and we only have 2 mulligans. Typically we don't want a Seraphar Anahit, but she isn't worth a whole lot. She will have a lot of value later on, but we have to mulligan Knickers and Roach away first, so that's what we're going with. So even if we hand this over to our opponent and he does not play a Highlander deck, it's still an 8 power unit, so we're probably going with that, whereas Shoop just doesn't do anything if your opponent doesn't play a Highlander deck. So I'm going with the faction stratagem here on the melee row because that's a lock, and that usually works well when they play stuff like Thrive and whatever. Are we using this? I don't think we're using this. Well, let's wait for a bit. So as you can see here, we can see the unit with 5 power or less, so try to save it for a good engine. Oh man, he is playing a lot of high value stuff. He is playing a lot of high value stuff. What's also really interesting about this game mode is like you have so much information, like you know exactly what cards your opponent has on hand. So that's very very interesting. I might actually play the Ethereal, or you can wait for him to play the Ethereal and then steal it. That might be more fun, and we can play this guy and use Ethereal on all the drones and sort of use his own strategy against him. Ruin is actually a really good play to make as well. Like we probably can like steal consume. Maybe we should go with that. Or we can go on Neuromancy into Shoop. No, we can't go Shoop. He has Shoop in his hand. I think we're going with Ruin. It's a pretty high value card to steal right there. Do we silence this? It's okay. It's just a 2/2. And he has 6 power, so the Thrive is relatively hard to proc. These are just the bullshit filler cards in the deck, by the way. We didn't go over them because they literally don't matter at all. But we can play Shoop. We can play Shoop with Resilience. Hopefully we can. Or we play the Assassinate on this guy. Or do we play Shoop? Yeah, we don't want him to deny the Shoop, but What do we do? I think we play Shoop. Just play Shoop. Like the knight with resilience. Typically what you want to go for in this game mode. Or we can lock. Yeah, we have some removal in the form of the form of the color we already have a lock, and there is some removal floating around. So do we want to play Onaromancy? Maybe we do. So then we can play Dandelion. Is that worth it, tempo wise? Not sure. Yeah. He wants to kill this because if he doesn't, it stays alive. This might actually be a good ethereal turn, because then we can consume the ruin and turn him into a 4/4. Let's do that. So he has some consumes. We should try to. He's probably playing the Endrega X next, but we should probably try to deny him that, because he has a lot of triggers for consume. But he's probably playing it right now. Maybe we can steal it. It's a. Oh, he's not playing it. All right, never mind. I did not say a word. Excuse me the sipping noises, but it's Friday evening, so I'm having a beer. Oh, that sort of hurts. We can take it back though. Like, we can either take it back or we can lock it. I sort of like taking it back. Like, this game will be the battle for the ethereal. And we want to play extra units. Want to boost Shoop. And then we can turn it into a 4/4 next. Yeah, that's going alright. And now we can deny the Endrega X as well. Which will give us, honestly, a powerful long round, assuming the ethereal lives. Like, if we... The Katakan is the only Death Wish he has, like, if we play the Endrega X. So these cards won't be, like, super useful. So this is nice for the ethereal, but it's mainly denying him like all the consume synergy as well. Not sure what to use the color on. Maybe I should have used it on the Katakan, so he would have had absolutely no Death Wish ability to get triggered. Where are my drones, by the way? What did I miss? Spawn 3 drones in this row. I feel like I've learned something today. So we want to deny the Death Wish and we want units, but we don't want to turn a 6 power unit into a 4 power unit. So shuffle a card from your graveyard into your deck. We can reshuffle Shoop. It's actually not that bad. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe we can find him again. Like normally you use Asirfar Anahit on round 2 or round 3 and then you select Roach and then he instantly spawns again because Asir is a golden card. That's what you usually want to do. But we had an unlucky mulligan with Roach and Knickers in the opening hand. Ooh, I really hope he lives. It's such a shame we don't get good ethereal targets. Like these guys should have spawned on the range row, but oh well. We don't have dominance. No, I think we're just playing the biggest unit for tempo here. Like this hand is boring, like no synergies or whatever. Like there are no good targets for ethereal in the game anymore, so the battle for the ethereal wasn't that well thought out. I probably want to deny him the highwayman because he will do more damage on knickers, because he has armor. Like I don't have a soldier, so I'm targeting his highest unit so that it's a little bit harder for him to get dominance. It doesn't really matter. Just for this card, but I'm playing that. So please let me know in the comments below if you know how the Endraga eggs work. Like the Death Wish spawned 3 drones in this row, it just did not go off. And that's probably because I played it in the same turn as I killed it myself. So we're winning this by a small margin, but we got this. Deploy, consume an allied unit. That would suck. Doesn't really matter. This was actually pretty close. But hey, now we have a short round 2 and the Shub lift. So we start the round with an 8-8 with just three cards. You never want to pass in this game mode because the cards keep shuffling. So you don't gain card advantage because the opponent can just kill all cards. I always like to mulligan this away. Reset the power of unit, that's fine because we're not going to boost units. Oh man. Okay, we did not find what, it's just, that's a small ship. We are going to reset this to its full glory of 8 power. It's actually decent. Because this is 4 power play, this is 4 power play. That sucked. Play any card from your deck while we're... Oh, wow. I want my Shub! Boost the random units in your hand. No, that just goes to the opponent. We can go for the resilience, but if we win, we don't need it anyway. We don't have any allied units to boost. Play a random card from your deck. That's a fun one. Let's go with that. Oh, well, we didn't get it. Random effect. Probably best. It doesn't do jack shit because now it just plays its units on the range row. Should have known that. Should have thought about that. Because now I made like an 8 power unit would have been better. Not sure why he didn't play as now he has the... Is this a draw? What card did he have? Oh, there we go. I played this so badly. Still won. So that's 11 wins on 2 losses. It's just that the trick where you mulligan either for 1 or 3 gold cards, which when you basically round 1, with Shield being one of them, which usually wins you round 2 as well. That alone makes this deck so good. Like, you can pull it off with any class, by the way. You don't need to play Nilfgaard for that.
Prepare for war.
We're playing this first and handing this over. And because he won't have a Highlander deck, he'll have to decide either to spend a turn getting rid of this, or he will have to hand it back. I'm going with the lock on the melee row versus Nilfgaard. Interesting. Some soldiers. Assimilate is nice. I'm going with assimilate because we'll be playing a lot of cards which are not from our own deck. Yep, there he just denied us the shoot. But he didn't put anything down, so we still get to... We get to do something while I did not. These are my own cards, which are obviously pretty shit. Let's go with this guy.
Stick 'em up, high as the clouds, now!
Like, it doesn't really have toll removal for the Slave Hunter, so I might be boosting this so it survives and we can get a big assimilate guy going.
Everyone has their secrets. Everyone.
Yeah. Like, maybe we should deny this card. We should deny him playing this card and we can use it to get rid of the assimilate guy. Yeah.
Do you honestly think you can catch me? You fool.
It should get us round 1. We're ahead by quite a lot. We are ahead by exactly 25 power. I don't want them to use assassination, but this will be a very bad assassination play. Good enough. I don't think this guy is really playing a deck that works too well in seasonal mode. Hello. Our trusted friend.
Time to get our hands dirty.
Oh no, one of the 8 bullshit tactics that's only used to boost my leader ability. So assimilate goes off when you play a card, right? So this should give us 2 assimilate procs. Well, that's decent tempo. There we go, to assimilate procs.
As good as dead, that lot.
It's alright. Hit some armor, so it wasn't like terribly efficient. We can... yeah, sure, let's go for another... How many deploy is still in the game? A bit. So we're playing... I'm debating like what's better, like assimilate or whenever you play a unit with deploy boost self by 1, but the order ability from the slave hunter probably hands over the advantage to the slave hunter. I'm feeling for this guy. Like, this is a... if you control a soldier, this is a very good play, because you're thinning your deck, so you get to... like, I used all my provisions to put all the tactic cards in this deck. But usually, deck thinning is a good idea for this game mode. We do have a soldier, which gives us quite a lot of... Was this play? Yeah, it's display. It'll give us a lot of assimilate procs.
Her grace will not be pleased.
Here's our chance.
Like, this is honestly pretty fun. Like, we're playing like this assimilate thing, but we don't even have the cards in our own deck. That makes this game mode fun, to use the opponent's power against him. So he has another one of those guys and the boost in his hand. Fatality for 2 turns. Math is hard. If we don't play this, he plays it maybe next turn, or it gets back to us. Maybe we should play it now, so we get the full vitality going.
The board of ethics would never.
Go Roach.
Never.
Probably would be better to play it on Niggers, because he has armor, so he's more likely to survive, but we know what he has in hand, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. No, our tactics. I do think we are winning this round. Like, this wasn't even like... we just used his own stuff against him with the assimilate things. Like, Niggers and Roach were nice, but we only had Rodaya. Not even a Shoop or whatever. That's nice. Do we still have some cool stuff in there? Ooh! We can play Dandelion into an Aromancy, into a Sire, and pick Roach. That is sexy. And a bullshit card to hand over to our opponent. That's brilliant.
A bad feeling about this.
If magic dies, this world dies with it.
It's quite a tempo play for a short round. He has like 6 power and 4 like 10 power at best.
You sought to humiliate me, Your Grace. Now you stand humiliated.
Not too shabby. Damage unit by 6. Decrease the damage by 1 for each unit adjacent to it. Yeah, that's more points than this guy will give us. Oh, right, immunity. I'm wondering if he knew this guy had immunity, so it was okay to give me the assassination, or he played this right accidentally.
Confounded boots. Another waste.
Probably the latter. I would. Like this card coupled with the Nilfgaard hero power is like the only way to play Nilfgaard, because you can play an Highlander deck with Shoop and Rodea with any class. I actually got my ass handed like once, which was like a Syndicate deck, which only handed me cards to gain coins and no ways of spending them. It was actually quite brilliant. Alas, we don't have a soldier. Oh well. Let's lure back up.
The Empire will sing of this day.
Looks like we've got that game in the pocket. There we go. So that was the Season of the Cat seasonal deck for you guys. I will put a link to the deck list in the description below this video. Please show me some love in the form of a like. I'm all about bringing you fun and competitive decks, so if that's what you're into, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget to upvote the deck guide on the Gwent deck library. Gwent deck library. Also let me know if you have any other cool ideas for videos, because this is just awesome to do. So if you have any suggestions, I am very open to that. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.